dude.
Oh, my, dude. I've never seen a human being swing as hard as he wanted to swing and make contact like that. He gave a little feint and then came with that overhand right with everything he had. And it connected.
It was like a bomb. And like that same thing that's happening in all of the pictures where you see just the sweat explode. You just saw it was like a firework going off of almost. It was something crazy. It was one of the craziest sporting events I've ever been to. Just an unbelievably nutty night between the fights themselves,
the silly sauce was flowing,
the injury, the Jake Paul factor, the celebrities that were there, the willy-nilliness of COVID, everybody being let loose, and honestly just the atmosphere of the fans and how excited they were. It was unreal that night in Jacksonville, UFC 261. It was crazy.
And only could have been made better if it was in Miami.
Maybe, but I don't even know.
You don't know if they could have brought it like that? Man.
I don't know. Probably, but
like the shots that I saw, the stadium looked a lot better than I picture a event looking in Jacksonville. So let me say that.
Right. It's a nice arena.
Right. But I still can't get over what I saw at Hard Rock and how they set that thing up and just the atmosphere of that.
It was
Masvidal
crazy.
Definitely had a good crowd cheering for him.
Everybody was there for everybody was there for Masvidal. Biggest pop. Tons of Canes bros. I saw dudes riding around on skateboards or little scooters with jerseys on. It was definitely everybody was there to see Masvidal, and they went home very quiet.
I would imagine that made Usman swing harder.
Everybody, all the fighters were saying that. They're saying that the crowd jacked him up on Mountain Dew chip.
Right. Like it just I'm telling you, Tobin, you've watched this a lot longer than I have. Have you ever seen somebody connect swinging that hard with a guy who had just finished dancing in front of him?
Dude, the only punch I remember landing that hard was, you remember when we went to Titan FC and we saw Jason Soares hit that dude with that uppercut.
Yeah,
that's the only punch I remember seeing in person that was like that forceful, and that dude was knocked out unconscious. They had to bring out the gas mask for him. That's the only one I can think of live that compares.
But it wasn't at that level.
No,
the UFC, you don't expect.
That's the thing with the UFC. The UFC, and there are guys who fight on the regional scene who are going to be UFC quality fighters, but just the crispness and the speed that it all happens at is just, it's so good. It's crazy. It's like that Rose Namajunas kick. It was like a whip, just out of nowhere. Crazy,
man.
But Masvidal, yeah, dude, just got hit with a bomb and got like torqued Mortal Kombat style. It was crazy.
And why does that always seem to happen right after they do the little dancing?
Oh, the little show. No, it was bad. He welcomed it, and the thing is like I hadn't even seen the interview until this week where he said to UFC Countdown, where he said that he's the softest hitter I've ever been with. That God didn't bless him with manliness in his hands.
No,
I mean, you want to talk about a freezing cold take? It was, Now it's all edited together, of course, for an internet package.
Oh my goodness!
Dude, it was wild.
You got too cute.
Maida is asking, did I see the goat Minshew? Bet your ass I did. That mullet is gorgeous.
He's got a Fabio going.
He is a gorgeous mullet. He's got like the greatest like riverboat tan you've ever seen. Just like looks like he's just been basking on the Everglades with a little like little tanner. And somehow the Jaguars quarterback in Jacksonville had way worse seats than Tom Brady.
Boy,
well, guess why? because his name not Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, he's got a week
left. That's true. Oh yeah, if Trevor Lawrence was there, he'd be
surprised
crazy.
He wasn't.
I did not see Megan Fox. I did see Machine Gun Kelly, so I assume that Megan Fox was there. Machine Gun Kelly was sitting right next to Tom Brady. I'm telling you, dude, it was crazy with the celebrities. Tim Tebow. When did you see Tebow out? Never see Teebs out.
Jake Paul and Antonio Brown. Jake Paul eating popcorn.
As soon as Jake Paul walked in, I'm like, oh, here we go. Because you knew. And Robbie, you would have needed the dump button all show. Show. Because
I heard
people, Leroy, they just immediately start chanting, F Jake Paul. F Jake
really?
Paul.
Nobody likes him?
Hate his guts. And he loves it. He is sitting up there. He's giving double birds. He's like telling people to come on and he's like a wrestling heel. He loves it so much.
Everybody buys
right, like, but he has worked himself into a situation where you don't even know if he could fight. Right? You don't know how good of a fighter he is. He's just worked himself up to where you got to see it, whether he wins or loses.
Well, then
and it just keeps going. It's just like all those people. The next time he fights, right? I want to see him get his ass kicked.
Right. And then he has Daniel Cormier who's all suited and booted. He's doing the broadcast. He waltzes on over there because him and Jake Paul have been going back and forth on the internet. So they get into a little kerfuffle. And it's just, it was so glorious. You're like, oh, everybody's going crazy. And then people are like, DC, DC, DC. Then he has to go back and do the broadcast, and then the F Jake Paul chants rise up again. So it was clearly a work. They're definitely going to go and fight.
Hey, I don't know what it is, but why does everybody think they could try DC? Because he looks portly?
Yeah, he's portly and he's short.
Because they don't think there's no way. And like, yeah, man, like I can't explain it either, but some of the best athletes I know look like DC.
They're going to fight.
How?
They will.
Boxing.
DC weighs 50 pounds, 60 pounds more than him.
Doesn't matter. That's what they're doing for the Logan Paul Mayweather fight. They're gonna fight. Too coincidental. Oh, Jake Paul shows up out of nowhere, and DC and him get into it. Yeah. I've been in this fight game long enough.
There's a couple of guys you don't do that with though, right? Like I can name 4 fighters off the top of my head that if that situation presented itself with that crowd, somebody getting a 2-piece.
I love the fact that Antonio Brown could have gone to the fights with Tom Brady and instead is at the fight with Jake Paul.
Because that's Antonio Brown, right?
It's just great.
Would you now think about it. I know you, right? You would definitely go with Jake Paul.
Oh, yeah. It looks so much more fun. Sit next to Tom Brady. Yeah, no, Tom Brady looks like he's probably there having a kale smoothie. No, I want to be in the crowd with the kid where everybody's cursing him out. That seems hilarious.
Oh my goodness.
Or of course Minshew. I'd love to sit next to Minshew.
Well, his days are limited.
By the way, Tobin, all that silly stuff happened before the main card even started. It was all during the prelims.
Dude, I'm telling you, Robbie, it was one of nobody gets to the fights for the prelims. And I'm telling you, the pre-prelims. And 6:15 gets going, and I would say the arena is 75% full for the 6:15 fight.
Really?
It was crazy. And the first fight was awesome. It was like this tiny Brazilian woman with the biggest arms I've ever seen, beating the holy hell out of this other woman. And they just had this crazy 2-round fight, and people were going nuts. Didn't even know their names. So good.
Yeah, I don't think there was a boring fight. I mean, I watched a lot of the prelims, too. I don't think there was a boring fight on the card.
I mean, no, because if anybody was, you know what happened, Robbie? If anybody got bored at any point,
F Jake Paul.
They just chanted F Jake Paul.
So they had a go-to crowd pop.
Yep.
That was equivalent to, is everybody enjoying the night? Yeah.
Yep. Jake Paul brought the people together. Oh, you know what one of my favorite parts was? It was just watching Bruce Buffer in action. First of all, he's insane. He's an insane person because he dances to any song that comes onto the loudspeakers for the walkout, but especially if the person has hard rock. You can tell that guy loves his rock and roll. And he's like bobbing his head, he's dancing, he's like shaking it out and shadow boxing basically. And then you just watch him get into people's faces, screaming. He goes, and he's just like, the champion, like right into their grill. It's so good.
But he gets all in the corner.
Yeah, it's
and he runs over there and points at the guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the same rules as his brother, right? Like we could say his stuff.
I think so.
Okay, good.
No, I don't know. He doesn't really have. I can't think of.
I know. It's time.
Is he? Oh yeah.
It's time.
He looks like before he gets to do his thing, he's already sweating.
He's got the Billie Eilish voice though. Like if you ever talk to him in person, it's just like, hey, how's it going? Bruce Buffer here. It's so crazy.
Did you get a question in at the press conference?
No, I didn't. First of all, the press conference went way too long because they had they had so much media there. It was. Hey,
by the way, I saw after the fight. I mean, Masvidal was out of it for a long time because even when he was talking to Usman afterwards and they did the little hug up and much love, he was still like woozy.
Yeah, bro, he got spun around.
No, dude, that he don't know what he got because he was out.
Yeah, he started being
like before, before he hit the ground.
He looked like he got turned into a lawn sprinkler. Like it was just crazy.
I've never seen a human being like. Of course, we always root for right after the guy showboats that he gets knocked out. It never usually happens like that.
It was it was so good. And then I mean, if you're Kamaru Usman now, you've like taken out your two biggest rivals, you've broken Colby Covington's jaw, and you knocked Jorge Masvidal into another planet. Like
and they say you can't punch.
Yeah. It's just like his resume right now he's building is just so crazy good right now. Like I didn't think anybody could touch George St. Pierre, but I don't know who's touching this guy.
Well, who's fighting? Like who's gonna fight next?
He's gonna fight Colby again.
They want him to fight Colby again, but I'm with him. Like I don't even think Colby should get the shot right now. Like I almost feel like because the big buzz all week was Nick Diaz was in town for his return fight. I think he should get to fight Nick Diaz. He should get a big payday. He should be able to welcome Nick Diaz back.
But again, you're looking at this from Diaz's perspective.
No,
like you saying he should get a payday.
No,
why would Usman get
because Usman's gonna kick his ass. He gets a big payday.
But my point is why should he be in a position where he's getting other people a payday?
Because it gets him a payday.
All right.
You think would he rather fight a fight he's already done, or would he rather fight a big name and have the pay-per-view do $1 gazillion? The champion gets points off the pay-per-view.
You think that would be a big fight?
Yeah.
Anytime Diaz brothers fight?
Nick Diaz hasn't fought in years.
Oh, okay.
He hasn't fought in years. Nate would be a big fight, but Nick's comeback fight is going to be a big fight.
Yeah,
and the other thing is, Nick, I'll tell you why. It's got like a little harmonious bridge because we remember Nick Diaz, the big rivalry he had with GSP back in the day. Now, GSP kicked his ass. It wasn't a very good fight, but it was a lot of drama surrounding that fight. Nick Diaz wasn't showing up for press conferences, big drama. And, it's a little make good at Nick Diaz, too, because he kind of got screwed with the whole weed rules thing, too. They really effed up his career with the whole, weed is illegal. And now they're like taking CBD companies. It's just, he was ahead of his time. It was like Ricky Williams. He's kind of like the Ricky Williams of MMA.
Yeah, all right. But reason why I don't want to see Nate fight, because within 5 seconds of the fight, he's bleeding.
Yeah, Nate is cut up, but
soon as they do the announcements and blood just starts falling from his face. Right.
I just think for Kamaru, he's already had 2 fights this year. He's been super active. He deserves it because what they're going to end up doing is they're going to give Nick Diaz to Masvidal, and so Masvidal is going to get the monster payday, and he's going to headline a pay-per-view, and Kamaru Usman's going to be like, what the F? My reward is I get to take out a harder fighter for less money?
Yeah. I know. But that's I think, like, when you get to that point, like, they're trying so hard to get a big payday by making something interesting that you just end up fighting cartoon characters because you're better than everybody in the division, clearly.
Yep. And
the only way you can get money for a fight with Kamaru Usman is all of the side stuff. Now, if he's not into it, then it doesn't
No. He's into it. I saw in the post-fight press conference, it tickled his fancy. He goes, Nick Diaz. Tobin didn't tickle his fancy.
I think he could go in there with both of them in there and do like WWE or something.
Handicap match.
Just fight them both. They could tag in and they'll both be bleeding and laid out. Like that dude, you know how you say, yeah, he's good and he can't be beat, but there's never really that moment where you go, whoa, that was that moment where I'm thinking, oh my goodness.
Jorge Masvidal getting knocked out in the second round. Couldn't have been more wrong on a pick. Because when you pick a guy to win via second round knockout and he gets knocked out in the second round, Leroy, what we call that is the old wrong switcheroo. Can't be more wrong on a pick. But Kamaru Usman is on his way to, he's building a hell of a legacy. He's building a hell of a legacy. And what he did to Jorge Masvidal, Chael Sonnen had the best line I heard. He says, the punch that he hit Jorge Masvidal with could knock out a small horse.
Right. I'm telling you, dude.
He hit him with such a bomb.
I've never seen a guy swing. Like, usually those punches never make contact.
It was crazy. But that guy's good, man. He is good. I picked Masvidal. I thought that he was going to get it done and have his storybook ending, or storybook moment of his career after all these years.
Storybook ending.
But instead it turned into a storybook tragedy because he got knocked. Knocked into another galaxy. Knocked into another guy.
By the way, India Rasta, Masvidal let me down. No, he didn't, dude. Like, sometimes you got to tip your hat to the other guy.
Yeah, the other guys right now.
Kamaru Usman is good.
He's the best.
So let's not make it sound like, Masvidal choked. He didn't. No, man. That's not it at all. Not at all.
You're saying he choked, Robbie?
Well,
you called it a choke?
Not saying he choked.
Are you kidding me?
He got cute. He's like, yeah, come on, hit me.
He got cute. No. Like, that was stupid.
Cute.
That was stupid.
He got cute.
He putting his hands down and playing like that. Like, ask Anderson Silva how that goes. Like eventually
you got to stay the course, man, until it's over. But that's all part of fighting. And that's the part of it. Like, we watch the other sports, so we watch basketball, football, baseball, and anytime something like that happens, it usually results in the other team getting momentum, right?
Yeah.
So when we watch it in fighting, we're like, oh.
Dude goes, Sexy Sauce 561. Jorge entered the shadow realm. Yes.
He
got Mortal Kombat.
Doctor Strange?
Dude, it was... and people are like the sweat, because Masvidal, just the sweat that just went... It was like a mist that came off. It was one of the most powerful knockouts I've ever seen in person.
I'm telling you, like, I still to this day will say, I've never seen a guy swing that hard and actually make contact.
It was crazy. Crazy.
Now I've seen, when guys are already a little woozy and they make contact because they're finishing them. But I'm talking about two alert fighters with a guy who just won supposedly the first round, him just showboating a little bit. And so they probably had a little anger behind that punch. Yeah.
Robbie, do you have the call? John Anik on the call of UFC 261, and it's and just a devastating shot from. It's always my favorite thing.
It didn't help when he was asking the corner what happened either.
When he asked it, what are you talking about on television?
When Masvidal was asking him what happened.
I didn't notice that. I wasn't.
Yes.
I didn't notice that.
What happened? As he was sitting there, what happened?
I haven't actually even heard the call. I saw it in person. Really? I haven't even heard. You
know how the call went. Let me do a reenactment before we play it, Robbie.
Okay. Yeah.
And this is Masvidal. I'll tell you.
All right, let's see how close Leroy was to John Anik, Daniel Cormier, and Joe Rogan.
It's good and confidence starting round 2. And of all the superlatives.
Oh,
that's how they all go, right?
Who has
knockouts like that?
Who has more fun broadcasting than those guys?
I mean, it's fun. It's amazing because, like, DC is. I think he's loved when he fights because of how well he does the analyst work in MMA.
Yeah,
right.
Well, he's really good at that, but he had to also be feeling so like a peacock yesterday because he had the entire arena chanting his name for confronting Jake Paul because everybody's just shouting "F Jake Paul, F Jake Paul." It was crazy, dude. It was so crazy being back in a packed building. I can't even. It was like you forget what it feels like. You forget what it feels like, and it was unbelievable. It was so crazy. So crazy. And by the way, go ahead, Robbie. Hit the end, Little Spoon Society. Colby will beat Usman. They already fought, dude. Usman broke his jaw.
Yeah.
Broke his jaw. He knocked out Gilbert Burns, and now he put Masvidal into another galaxy. Guys, the guy's unbelievable. He's unbelievable. Crazy. What do you got, Robbie?
Masvidal wrong. Yeah,
we're not doing. You know what did Masvidal wrong? Jorge did Jorge wrong. He had his hands down and he got hit with a bomb.
Yeah, got cute. I mean, the only title he's won was a fake belt. Let's be honest. I love Masvidal.
Well, yeah, they should probably stop parading around with that thing, But what are you gonna do?
It was cool when he won it.
Is that like the linear champ? Though?
It was unbelievably cool when he won it. That was a cool, but it was supposed to be one of one. Because you either got to. Here's the thing: you either got to stop parading around with the belt, or you got to give up the belt when you get knocked out like that.
Yeah,
like
he should have just gave it to him.
His team should have.
Well, no, that's the thing about boxing, though. It's like once you get the belt, you always have the belt.
I understand, but once if you're going to bring the belt to the ring, which they did, and you get knocked out like that, the belt must be handed over.
Yeah, you can't too much be considered a badass. If
you can be considered a badass, you're just not the baddest mother. Listen, I'm not saying Masvidal's not a badass. I'm not taking that. I'm not doing any of that. People who are calling him a journeyman and a bum.
No,
that's fine. Do the. You guys do the casual fight fan thing where you write off a guy's career because he loses a fight in mixed martial arts, which happens to everybody. But you can't be the baddest mother bleeper anymore when you get knocked out like that by a guy who you said doesn't have manliness in his hands. That can't happen.
Oh yeah, you can't say somebody hits soft and then
you can't say he's the softest I've ever been hit before a fight, and then that happens. So,
nope. I guess crazy. Usman said, "I guess I got to hit him harder," because he did.
Conor and him are getting to a big thing. Conor's accusing him of steroids.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my!
He's calling him backpox. You like that?
It's just so Conor to just pull up names just out of.
He goes
says and some would say, you think Conor is ever going to win another fight?
Here's I don't know. He's got Dustin Poirier coming up in a couple months. I think Dustin Poirier is going to do work on him again. Usman even copying my shots now. At some am I going to have to fight this guy at some stage? I think so. Can't be copying my words and copying my shots and not get smacked for it. I like 170. It's mine soon. Usman goes, except when I touch you at 170, they go out. They don't even go out at 155 anymore for you. I finish people. You get finished. Conor goes, relax there. Carbuncles? I don't know what is carbuncles. Is that an Irish thing?
I'm guessing that you probably just cursed and didn't know it.
Maybe. You big spotty backpox. You were ringside last time I fought at 170. 40 seconds is all it took. Why did you reschedule the Burns fight? What was the reason? That was never given to the public. Why you signed to a fight that and then it was rescheduled? He's accusing him of steroids.
Oh, boy.
He goes, never in my life and all my time in this business, which is a long time before all these effing bums, have I ever signed to get a fight and then get it rescheduled for no reason whatsoever. So said fighter can recover from, quote, undisclosed injuries. Excuse me, what? The fight was signed, sealed, tickets sold. F these Jews anyway. I don't give a bollocks. Won't give a bollocks. I'm just calling it as it is. I have the biggest boys in Ireland. I'll clean it up for Robbie so he doesn't dump me. With 2 lump hammers attached to these elbows. Send me in and I'll pop the big old pimples, get 3 belts, and then go with 3 commas.
Want Silicon Valley's a 3 comma club?
I tell you what. He's never fought Conor, right? No.
Who, Usman?
Yeah, no.
No. In fact, Usman then goes, I offered you the fight and you went missing. Let's stay humble, young man. I already took your pride. Don't make me take your whiskey, too.
Ooh. Uh-oh. Now. You see, I think Tobin starts tearing up when he hears this kind of trash talk.
I like it. I like it. The unfortunate thing is I don't think Conor's going to beat Dustin Poirier, so it's going to look kind of silly when he's trying to pick a fight with Usman.
Right, and see, this is what I hate about it. I hate that if Conor loses to Poirier, he'll still get a big fight. But I don't want him to keep getting fights because it makes money. Like, I want to actually – you tend to lose the guys coming up that deserve these fights more than him.
That's why I told you earlier in the show, like when Nick Diaz is there ringside, I want Usman to get the Nick Diaz fight. He's been active as hell. He deserves the big payday. He should beat up the old man and get a ton of money.
So who's next in line? Is he next in line? Like, I don't
Nick Diaz. Nick Diaz hasn't fought in 5 years. No, he's not next in line.
Okay, then.
But
who would be the best? But look, I get doing that, right? I get that.
But he's beating everybody. Like, that's why I put these circumstances. Like, I feel like
he's just to a point right now where he can just fight whoever is making money, whoever get him money.
I think Usman deserves that. I think he deserves to go get a super fight because what's going to end up happening is Masvidal, like you said, like the people who lose get the big fights, and Masvidal is going to end up getting this fight, and it's going to do a gazillion buys on pay-per-view, and Usman's going to be sitting here, and he's going to have to fight Colby again, and he already broke his jaw.
And I would say that would suck because if that's a bigger fight, the Nate Diaz Masvidal. See, here's what people don't realize: Masvidal is a draw.
Yep.
Like
everybody in that building was there for him.
Right. And all the other guys, all right, whatever. Right. The Diaz brothers are draws. So you can't fight Usman against Masvidal again.
No,
so the only possible scenario is Diaz. But if you fight Masvidal and Diaz, even though you may make more money, if Masvidal wins, where are you? You've won the division.
Well, yeah, Nick Diaz is just kind of parachuting in. Like you haven't seen him in, I think, when's the last time Nick Diaz fought? It's got to be 5 years. Nick Diaz. 37 years old. He's gonna be 38 this summer.
Oh God!
He last fought
to see that.
Oh, because he's a Diaz. That's why. His last fight was in 2015. It was the no contest against Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva tested positive for steroids after the fight, while Diaz got positive for marijuana. So they both got suspended.
Jeez.
See, that's the classic UFC fan. They romanticize that. Nick Diaz laying down in the middle of the cage. That was great. Oh, he just laid Leroy. He laid down.